do you say, thank you, an idiot?
Zombies was a huge success, and Treyarch said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just keep adding mechanics to the maps while still making it simple enough for newcomers while also making the maps larger. They packaged Black Ops 1 with 2 maps on launch, Kino der Toten, a map for beginners, and 5, a map for pros. Kino der Toten was the first Black Ops Zombies map, and boy oh boy, what a start. This was Rush Review's first map, and it was a really good map for helping people get really good at zombies. The map didn't introduce much other than sentry guns, a new type of zombie, and the thunder gun that we will get into in a minute. It also has the best Easter egg song in zombies. Kino was based on the theater that burned down in the movie Inglourious Basterds, but it's still a little weird that Group 935 went to a movie theater, probably sat down, watched a movie, took a bite of their popcorn, and said to the coworker sitting next to them, "Yeah, this place looks great for human experimentation." The map feels like Dury's 2.0, following a similar layout and improving on most of its flaws. But instead of no training spots and lots of great camping spots, including one really good camping spot, Kino flips this on its head by having no good camping spots, but lots of good training spots, and the god-level training spot near the stage. But Kino has its flaws. The crawlers, first of all, you have to deal with a horde of zombies, but then Golem's incestual brothers start falling from the ceiling and bursting mustard gas like a whoopee cushion. Kino is Rush Review's favorite Call of Duty Zombies map, and if you want to see me and Rush Reviews race to round 30, you can watch the video by clicking the eye in the corner. Pretty soon we are doing a rematch, so stay tuned for that. Now, one of the last things that happened in Kino der Toten was the Thunder Gun. The Thunder Gun is one of the best, if not the best, water weapon of all time. It had infinite damage, and it didn't create drops in Black Ops 1, but in Black Ops 3's remaster it does. It is also a weapon that is going to be absolutely necessary if you want to make it past round 40. The next map, 5, was unlocked by beating the Black Ops 1 campaign, and by then Activision probably expects you to be a much better player. The map was set in the Pentagon, reusing lots of assets from the Black Ops campaign. 5 lets JFK get his revenge by headshotting millions of zombies alongside other famous politicians, including Nixon, McNamara, and Fidel Castro. 5's first rooms are incredibly difficult because they lack wide open spots for training. If you can survive to the headquarters room, then the map becomes much easier for training and surviving. But even then, you still have to deal with the Pentagon thief, who teleports into your map and will try and chase you and steal your weapons. If he sees you, he breaks into a sprint that is literally impossible to escape. You can kill him, but it does take a lot of bullets from even the most powerful guns, including the Winter's Howl and the ray gun, which slows him down. Alright everyone, take out your hammer and chisel and save your rations because it's time for a trip to the USSR. Ascensing was the first Zombies map with a large Easter egg quest, and it's set in the Soviet Cosmodrome, with small references to a theory about the lost cosmonauts of Russia. If you don't know about what the lost cosmonauts are, here's a short rundown. Back during the space race, the Soviet Union and America were trying to be their best to be the first person into space. In the 1960s, the Judicia Cordillera, I can't even pronounce it, sorry. The Judicia Cordillera brothers were 2 former radio operators who claimed to have recorded audio from several space missions that ended up with no men returning to Earth. These recordings are called the Tor Burt recordings because he stumbled upon the messages at a place called the Tor Burt listening station. One of them is from a female Soviet spacewoman who burned up in the atmosphere upon re-entry. The Soviet Union tried to cover up tried to cover these up because they needed to make sure that their country was nationalistic during the Cold War. Anyways, Yuri is the main key character to the Easter egg in Ascension, and we eventually see him turn into the Pentagon thief. Yuri is an allusion to Yuri Gagarin, a Russian cosmonaut who was the first human to journey out into outer space. Back to the map itself. Ascension feels like version 2.0 of Kino der Toten or version 3.0 of Doris. It has a very similar layout to those two. As I mentioned earlier, Doris has good camping spots but not many good training spots, and Kino has good training spots but not many good camping spots. Well, Ascension is the best of both worlds. It's full of good training spots and camping spots, but it isn't as easy as Kino. Ascension has lots of cramped and small spaces that can lead to cheap deaths, and also has the space monkeys, which like to try and steal your perks every few rounds. Ascension's Pack-a-Punch quest is similar to Doris, where you have to go to 3 locations around the map and activate a lander machine, which takes you to another part of the map. After you use all 3 lander locations, a giant rocket on the map soars up into space, which unlocks the area to Pack-a-Punch, which is somewhat similar to Doris, where you have to activate the 3 teleporters. But this does bring up a question. Why would you make using the transportation system also activate your giant rocket or warhead? I mean, they could have started a nuclear apocalypse because one of the scientists really had to pee, but the bathroom was on the other side of the complex. Call of the Dead was probably the worst out of all the maps in Black Ops 1. The map has you pursued by George Romero, director of the movie The Night of the Living Dead, which really popularized the movie zombie apocalypse in TV and the movies. This George Romero was bitten by a zombie and now slowly follows you. But if George is shot or just feels like it, he goes all Super Saiyan in your face and starts running at you like a freshman in the high school hallway. Then if he catches you, he wields his mighty hammer, and then the hammer starts getting electricity like he's Thor. He slams you and shocks your character so much that it could give the electric chair a run for its money. Call of the Dead stars a bunch of actors from horror movies, including national treasure Danny Trejo, Freddy Krueger himself, Robert Englund, and The Walking Dead Michael Rooker. Michael Rooker, and Sarah Michelle Gellar from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The map is set on a Siberian outpost with a lighthouse and a crashed ship with the captain that was probably worse than the Titanic's. The steep mountain setting is pretty interesting because most of the zombie maps are much flatter. The map feels like it could be a real place. You're jumping off one part of the crashed boat to another.
Parkour! I'm right behind you, Andy! Come on! Yeah!
Or wading around in the water. It is pretty cool because most of the zombies maps are designed in a very linear fashion. The map also has ice-cold water, which can make your screen look like it's freezing. I'm not sure if it actually kills you because I'm not stupid enough to try this, but this was probably a precursor to the lava in some maps that we see in the future. This is the second map with an Easter egg quest. In the map, you help Richtofen, Tank, Nikolai, and Takio escape from a vault on the map that they accidentally teleported into. Doing this gives you a new wonder weapon that has the ability to turn zombies into people. Could this be how the zombies campaign ends? We will have to wait for the final Black Ops 1 map to truly know. Next is Shangri-La, the polar opposite of Call of the Dead. The map is set in a bright Mayan or Aztec temple. I'm going to be honest, I haven't played a lot of Shangri-La. The map has a trap gimmick that slides sticks up through the floor as a trap, and it's gotten me so many times that if you call me Swiss cheese, I wouldn't even be mad. Shangri-La had somewhat of an interesting backstory about 2 explorers stuck in a time loop for some reason, and includes an Easter egg called Time Travel with Tell, which gives one player access to a rock with the same effects of Perkaholic. The map includes new zombie types, including the Magma Zombie, which I'm not a fan of, as well as the Shrieker Zombie. But Social Justice Warriors unite because they finally added a female zombie type in Call of Duty Zombies. A tear comes to my eye knowing how progressive Treyarch is. Now I can finally kill undead men and women. Shangri-La also features a wonder weapon players call the Baby Gun, because it shrinks zombies down to the size of babies and lets you step on them. You know, that's actually pretty dark. Treyarch, what are you thinking about? Moon is the final zombies map, and probably the most influential map for the future zombies, other than Doris. It was the first map to have a giant Easter egg that had a huge scale. Remember how I mentioned that gun that turns zombies into humans? Well, you may be thinking, oh, Richtofen is going to go to the moon and focus the gun to cure the world. That would be a great ending. Well, smart viewer, I'm happy to tell you that you are absolutely and completely wrong. Richtofen just blows up the Earth. The Easter eggs went from play hide and seek, free a glowing space ball thingy, listen to a song, get to a meteor, to blow up the freaking Earth. When starting Moon, you spawn in Area 51. This part is called No Man's Land, and for good reason. This area has the Pack-a-Punch, a teleporter, and a big open area. For the first 20 or so seconds, super weak zombies come out of the ground. You can knife them as many times as you want, but then an alarm starts blaring and the zombies start sprinting at you. They are all still 2-knife kills, but way more zombies are spawning, and they're coming at you way faster, along with the Hellhounds, which are the flaming dogs I mentioned earlier, or well, the flaming dogs that Galaxy mentioned earlier. After the alarm starts blaring, you can jump to the teleporter, and it takes you to the moon, where you can grab a spare spacesuit and get going. The moon is great at setting atmosphere. It's supposed to be a mix of creepy Call of Duty Zombies elements and campy B horror movies, kind of similar to the Infinite Warfare maps, but with a darker tone. While running around in the map, you can encounter the spacesuit. What it is a spacesuit that walks around the map following you at a bit of a slow pace to try and trick you. It will have the name of one of your Steam friends hovering over its head, like other players. If you get too close to it, it will grab you and headbutt you with no escape. And then it will take all of your perks and teleport you to a random part of the map. And it will put you on max damage to where if you get hit once by a zombie, you'll be downed. If you can, of course, make it to a place where there's no zombies and heal up, you'll be fine in a few seconds. Moon's layout is considerably worse than 5 in some places. There are some rooms that are a bit open, but training doesn't really work on them because of how floaty everything is, especially the rooms that take you from the spawn room to the giant space dome. They can be super difficult. I have never gotten to the dome while playing on my own. I'm also pretty bad at zombies. Wait a minute. Rust Reviews has never gotten to the dome playing on his own, and he's pretty bad at zombies, but that doesn't matter because he should be a pro at the game mode to get access to the main area of the map. So to fill newbies in, all zombie maps except for Nocturne Totem has an announcer. This announcer is a little girl named Samantha, who was the son of Dr. Maxis, a co-worker of Richtofen's. Samantha was teleported by Richtofen to the Moon facility because Richtofen went crazy. Moon's facility was built around the pyramid thingy called the MPD, which they were experimenting with. Samantha is a stupid little girl and is teleported into the room with the MPD and can't breathe, so she jumps into the MPD. What it did is it turned her into a basic god and gave her control of the zombie. Maxis is sent up to the facility to try and talk to Samantha from outside the MPD. Everyone was hoping that he would say get out, but Dr. Maxis is still pissed and tells Samantha to use the zombies to kill everyone related to or helping people related to Group 935. The name for the German scientists, including Maxis and Richtofen, who were doing creepy German experiments on the zombies and etc. Samantha agrees to kill, and all the zombies start their rampage. But to my knowledge, these zombies don't try to bite you. If you are looking tasty, they only go after you if you are helping the main characters or anyone related to Group 935. For example, the characters in Call of the Dead who are trying to help Richtofen escape. Richtofen also goes to the moon to get Samantha to take her out of the MPD. You may be thinking, oh, that sounds good, then the zombies will all die or stop killing people. Nice! Well, dear viewer, wrong again. After taking her out, he goes into the MPD and gets control of all the zombies. Richtofen's control of the zombies turns their eyes blue and turns him into the announcer. Richtofen apparently cannot open the device, so the way he does this is by swapping his and Samantha's souls and bodies. Listen, this isn't even crazy to me anymore. Black Ops 1 was a bit of a mixed bag. Maps like Keener to Tilton and Ascension were masterpieces, but they also had some major low points, including 5 and Call of the Dead. The engine was also a bit of a problem for the game. Shots sometimes don't feel like they're even hitting, and ammo and lots of guns can be very scarce. These maps were massively improved in Black Ops 3's Zombies Chronicles map pack, and that is how I recommend you experience these maps. I'm going to give Black Ops 1 a map total of 23 out of 30 and a map average of 3.83 out of 5. Anyway, guys, this has been Bats Gamer. If you're watching this on the Galaxy Cat Bass channel, you already know who I am. And if you're watching this on the Rush Reviews channel, which this is probably the channel you're watching it on, then you probably don't know who I am. Basically, I am a friend of Rust Reviews, and I upload a similar type of content to his. I upload videos like video essays about video games, and I'm going to be starting uploading tech videos this week, or maybe even next week. I also have a second channel where I upload Let's Plays, so if you're into that type of thing, you can go watch that channel too. So there will hopefully be a link to both of them in Galaxy's end card, section, and hopefully there will be links in the description as well. But remember, if you are watching this on the Galaxy Cat Badge channel, you know who I am, and you probably know about my second channel by now. So, of course, there will also be a link to my second channel in the description and in the end cards of my version of the video that I'll be uploading on my channel. So, yeah. Anyway, this has been Bats Gamer, narrating for Rust Reviews on the Black Ops 1 portion of his ranking every Black Ops Zombies map video. And yeah, that's going to be it. So, see you guys later. Peace.